Trey Smack in the road white. We are underway in Tallahassee. Samuel Singleton upended just past the 15. And we get our first look at Luke Kromenhoek. Just his second career start. Played linebacker and safety before coming one of the nation's top high school quarterbacks, Rocky.
Yeah, he's late to the quarterback game, but he's been phenomenal ever since he took over here. You see the accuracy, the ability to throw on the run. He also is a great athlete, can make some plays with his legs. A guy that I think, last week, it took him a while to get going. I'm really hoping Florida State gets him comfortable early, get him some nice, easy throws, get him in the mix.
They start with a quarterback design run. That is what Kromenhoek can do. We told you, dual threat quarterback. He told us, I'm the hammer, not the nail. And his teammates said, be careful, because in this rivalry, they're going to try and take your head off. Cam Jackson, the nose tackle, injured on the first play from scrimmage. Getting attended to by the Gators medical team.
And Cam Jackson has been an integral part of this defense. He's kind of got rolled up on there late. Big nose tackle, 6'6", 342.
It was a safety, his teammate, Jordan Castell, who rolled up on Jackson there.
This is a defense, Jay, that the secondary has been hit with injuries hard. 5 defensive backs out this season, and now Cam Jackson down.
This is a repeat of last week in the win against Ole Miss. Aaron Gates, on the second play of the game, goes down injured. He is out tonight. Good to see Jackson walk off under his own power. Mike Norvell making some news right before kickoff. Big news from our colleague Pete Thamel, reporting Gus Malzahn will resign as the head coach of UCF to become Florida State's offensive coordinator. So Norvell, 2 weeks ago, fired his offensive coordinator Alex Atkins after the 52-3 loss to Notre Dame. Big statement there, bringing in a huge offensive mind in Malzahn.
That's big news, Jay. Gus Malzahn is synonymous with fun offenses that put up a lot of points. The recruits and the fan base will love that.
Ja'Kai Douglas couldn't turn the corner. Gain of 2.
Again, we get the early run from Luke Kromenhoek, the quarterback, trying to get him settled in now. Conversely, for Florida's defense, they want to get him out of rhythm early. I expect some pressure early, try to rattle the young quarterback.
Empty set for Kromenhoek on a 2nd and 8. Florida sends 4. Kromenhoek fires, pass is caught, shy of the first down, wrestled out of bounds. Kyle Morlock, the tight end, gain of 5, sets up a 3rd and manageable.
Florida has really poured it on lately with the pressure on the quarterback. 22 sacks the last 7 games.
Seminoles have been brutal on 3rd down this season. Could they keep the opening drive alive here on a 3rd and 3? Tried to pick it up on the ground, right up the middle, needed 3. Got 3, right to the line. Desmond Watson made the tackle, but not enough. 5th-year senior Lawrence Toafili getting just enough to move the sticks.
And this is a very beleaguered Florida State offensive line. They've had 9 different offensive line combinations this year, the most in college football. That's been one of the most under-talked about detriments of this team so far this year, but they were able to pick up the first down.
Toafili, a 5th-year senior veteran running back. He's had a great career here at Florida State. He'd love to finish it with a win against their in-state rival, Florida. Gets the carry, running right. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Bounce out of bounds just shy of the 40.
Look at the right side of that line move, Jay.
Offside. Defense number 44. Lined up in the neutral zone with the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Let's take a look at our impact players brought to you by Carfax.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good players in this matchup here tonight, Jay. And for Florida's offense, Florida's offense, Jaden Bile, the freshman running back. Bryce Thornton had 2 interceptions last week. And then for Florida State, Lawrence Toafili, probably their best offensive player. And Omar Graham, the linebacker, great player in that second level.
Now, you mentioned the week Thornton had with those 2 interceptions in the win against Ole Miss. This Florida defense probably doesn't get enough credit for the way they've turned the tide. DJ Lagway kind of steals the headlines at quarterback, but this defense has played a lot better the last month of the season.
They have. You watch them early in the season and just, we're missing a lot of tackles, and you say, man, they got the athletes out there. And I think, again, Billy Napier talked about that bye week where the defense especially and just the competitiveness they were able to work out there on that practice field has these guys flying around and playing good football.
Now, the officials are huddled up. There's a chain issue. You see on the far side of your screen, they've got it marked as it's a 1st and 10. The problem with that is it's 2nd and 5. There was that offsides that the chains may have not accounted for here.
The previous play is under further review.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Florida State and Florida, otherwise known as the Chop against the Chomp. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. Ashley Stroline down on the sideline, just getting started. Scoreless in Tallahassee. Florida State trying to spoil this Florida resurgent run. The Gators back-to-back top 25 wins. They're feeling good. Now trying to take it on the road. Gators force pressure. Tyreek Sapp shot in. Got to the true freshman quarterback.
Running on the field is a fumble recovered by the offense.
Recovered by Cam Davis. It's a loss of 3.
That's what we talked about, this Florida defense just getting after the quarterback lately. And a lot of times, Jay, they do it with just rushing 4 because they have the dudes that can get that done. Tyreek Sapp, 1.5 sacks last week. And this is just a speed rush off the edge. Bull rush in the left tackle back, chopping that arm down. It's a great play to start this game.
3rd and 8 after the loss of 3. Florida sends pressure. Kromenhoek in trouble. Can't escape. Down he goes. Jaden Robinson. A huge sack on 3rd down. And the Florida defense delivers.
And Jay, you see this pocket just absolutely collapse around Luke Kromenhoek. Florida brings 5, but look, it's pressure up the middle, and then it converges on the inside. There's nowhere to go. There is no daylight for Luke Kromenhoek to take off. Just a great job of disciplined, gap-oriented rush by this Florida front.
The Florida State head coach Mike Norvell told us yesterday, we haven't helped the quarterback this season.
Florida is wearing 45.
You're 2-9 for a reason. A big reason is this offensive line has just been a turnstile throughout the season. They've started 9 different offensive line combos this year, and not one of them has been effective. Alex Mastromano on to punt it away for the Seminoles. And he's got a cannon for a leg. He's a Ray Guy Award finalist for the nation's best punter. Jim Dyke, running room all the way to the 50. A big return of more than 30 yards, and this will be excellent starting field position for DJ Lagway and this Gators offense.
Yeah, uncharacteristically low hang time on that punt allowed DK just some space and opportunity to get forward and give this Gator offense and this red-hot freshman quarterback.
Return. Illegal side by blindside block, number 9, receiving team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So that negates the good return for DK. Now let's take a look at DJ Lagway. Florida is 4-0 when Lagway starts and finishes the game. Here's why.
And so many things stand out, Jay, but to me, it's the ball placement. The ball is on the right shoulder. It's away from the defender. It's perfectly placed in the hands of the receiver, and then the ability to throw under pressure. You're not always going to get a clean pocket. They play in the SEC. It's not going to happen. And then just the ability to make uncanny throws that you can't coach. It just has to happen from birth. And DJ Lagway is a special player.
Now they started on the ground with Montrell Johnson Jr. Daryl Jackson makes the stop for Florida State. Now one thing that also helps a true freshman quarterback in Lagway is when you can establish that run.
Yeah, that's the key. And Billy Napier is a run-first coach. He is going to run the ball as long as he is the coach, and they got to establish that early.
Lagway over the middle. That pass is dropped. A rare miscue from Lagway. Couldn't connect with Marcus Burke, who was wide open there.
Yeah, we talked about the ball placement to start off, but this is a rivalry game. Probably some nerves going a little bit. A nice clean pocket for Lagway. Just throws it on the wrong side of the tight end. Excuse me, of Burke, the wide receiver.
3rd and 7. The Florida State's defense desperate for a stop to start this rivalry game. Lagway escapes the pressure, steps up, falls forward. This will be very close to a first down. Omar Graham, great pursuit. Might have kept Lagway half a yard shy. So this will be 4th and a yard.
Now, Lagway's been hampered by a hamstring injury the last couple weeks, so he doesn't have that acceleration that he's used to having. And I think that was the difference right there. He was not able to use his speed. He's got his whole contraption going, Jay. He's got like an artificial hamstring made of bands. You see with that yellow right there going down the back of his leg. He's going to be in this game no matter what, but just a little bit hampered.
Yeah, most importantly, that's there to just remind him, hey, you're not at 100%.
Right. Try
and stay in the pocket. Tried to pick it up there with his feet. It fell a yard shy. So Florida State gets a stop, keeps it scoreless in Tallahassee.
More with Geico, and in part by Fairfield by Marriott. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield. Filtered.
Osceola and Renegade, one of the best traditions in all of college football. Osceola usually plants the spear from Renegade's back. He only dismounts and plants it when the Seminoles face the Gators. Seminole tradition that signifies real war is about to begin. You take those meetings, especially in the 90s, those top 10 matchups between Bobby Bowden's Seminoles and Steve Spurrier's Gators. It was a real war, and these two teams are ready for another rivalry war tonight. Big hit on the bubble screen. Hakeem Williams drilled by Bryce Thornton, the reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, Bryce Thornton is just having a heck of a second half of the season. He was hurt early, but has really come on and solidified this secondary that's been just crippled with injuries.
Running on 2nd and 11, Roydell Williams' first carry. Good to see him back into the lineup for Florida State. He's been hampered with injuries throughout this season's campaign. A gain of 8 to set up 3rd and 3.
The last third down, Florida brought 5. They were able to get to Kromenhoek. Let's see what the Gators do here.
Right back. No, Kromenhoek pulled it out of Williams' gut. Slid right at the first down line, and it's where Kromenhoek starts the slide. They decided to give him the first down. Needed 3, got 3. Gutsy run by the true freshman.
You can see early on Florida is trying to really solidify all those gaps. They're bringing Shamar James up inside, but very smartly, astutely, Kromenhoek bounces that thing to the outside and picks up the first down.
And the replay officials upstairs buzz down to review. Where did Kromenhoek start this slide? We'll take a look.
After further review, the ball carrier did not make the line to gain. The ball carrier started his feet first slide at the 34. It'll be 4th and 1 at the 34-yard line.
Welcome back to Florida State, and they have ruled during the break that Kromenhoek was short. And as soon as he starts into his slide, he's down right there at the 34-yard line, well short of the 35. It's an instance where you'd like to see in a rivalry game that quarterback dive forward and get that first down.
Now, we spoke with Kromenhoek during the week, and he said his teammates were telling him, hey, you got to slide. He's a guy that even during practice will go head first.
I think his teammates might have gotten his head a little too much on that. We got to get a first down, man.
We are scoreless so far tonight in Tallahassee. Let's take it back to 2022, the last time these two faced off at Doak Campbell Stadium. Fireworks offensively. A couple of NFL guys, Anthony Richardson to Pearsall and Jordan Travis doing his thing for Florida State. This was an awesome back-and-forth game. Seminoles won it 45-38. Something tells me tonight might be a lower scoring affair.
Might be. I mean, Florida State, that's been their thing all year, just averaging 15.8 points per game, have not found the end zone near enough.
Billy Napier would love for tonight to be his first win against the in-state rivals. Big run here to ignite the drive. Jaden Baugh, the freshman, explodes. Big gain of 21.
Gators have really run the ball well here recently. Last week, 44 rushes for 165 yards. Good job by that offensive line. Then Jaden Baugh, the freshman. Once you get that second level, you got to make guys miss. He does it often.
How about that for Florida? A sight to see. True freshman quarterback and a true freshman running back making big plays in a big rivalry. Right back to Baugh. This one couldn't get free. A loss of 1.
Lola Hager with a nice job shedding a block and making a tackle. Baugh was trying to bounce that run to the outside.
Play action. Lagway rolls right, throws on the run, and it's dropped. Jim DK couldn't hang on. But this will bring up 3rd and long for the Gators offense.
And the ball was behind the receiver, but the defender, Shaim Brown, was ahead of DK, so he tried to throw it behind him just a little too far. Couldn't adjust his body back and haul that one in. A couple early inaccuracies here from Lagway.
After he was near perfect in the win last week against Ole Miss. Hasn't started as sharply here on the road. Lagway steps up, puts it right on the money, but dropped. Incomplete. Tony Livingston could not haul it in. I thought that was a good throw by Lagway.
It was a special throw by Lagway. Would have taken a great catch, but Tony Livingston couldn't haul it in. Here's the isolation. Again, the ball placement. Just getting it upfield, away from the defender. Edwin Joseph just couldn't haul it in, and Florida State, how about this? Forcing 2 early punts here. This is a great start for the Seminoles.
We saw earlier with Michigan and Ohio State, even if you're a heavy underdog, anything can happen at a rivalry game. Let's check in to the studio with Kevin Connors. So big college football playoff implications there, because Clemson or SMU will be the conference champion that likely will get the automatic berth to the college football playoff. If Florida State thought they'd be contending atop the ACC, would get an opportunity to defend their reigning ACC championship. Instead, they are down at 17th, a season to forget for the Seminoles. But if they could beat their rivals, Florida, Mike Norvell could take some positive momentum into the offseason. Keep it on the ground, nowhere to run. Gang tackled and stuffed there by the Florida defensive front.
It's hard to run on this interior Gator line. You got Desmond Watson, 21 right there. Kind of a big guy, you know, 450 pounds. Also Miles Graham in there as well.
Florida, 4 tackles for loss in this opening quarter. Sets up a 3rd and 5. The true freshman quarterback, Luke Kromenhoek. Back to throw, surveys, it's caught for a Florida State first down. Ja'Kai Douglas the reception. And Kromenhoek moves the chains through the air.
This is a nice job by Kromenhoek. This is a fire zone, so they blitz a linebacker, and you'll see they drop TJ Searcy out. But good recognition of where the defense and where they were dropping into their zones by Kromenhoek. Puts the ball on the right shoulder of Ja'Kai Douglas.
The Kromenhoek's been conservative, but he's a perfect 4 for 4 when he's thrown the ball tonight.
And they're giving him a lot of just short, high percentage, confidence-building throws early.
And Caleb Banks walking off gingerly to that Florida sideline. It's the second defensive lineman we've seen go down in this first quarter for Florida. Cam Jackson earlier. And it's a 1st and 10 for this Seminoles offense. And Camp Davis, another true freshman out there for Mike Norvell's team. He said in a season that has been so challenging, one of the few positives he has found is young players have really stepped up and embraced big roles. You see a true freshman running back, true freshman quarterback in the backfield for him right now.
Yeah, that's what you want in a season that's not going the way you want. You want to look to the future. You want to see what kind of tools you have that are going to be around for when things get a little brighter.
Kromenhoek. Pocket collapses. Ball's free. Jack Pyburn pried it loose. And Florida has it.
And that clock, and Luke Kromenhoek said, should have went off a lot sooner. We saw this last week. Again, he's a freshman, but he's holding on to that ball a little bit too long. We see on the left side of your screen, Jack Pyburn, who's really impressed as this season's gone on. What an incredible pass rush, knocking the arms of the tackle, Jarius Washington, down, popping the ball out. And then Robinson falls on it. That is a picture-perfect rush by Pyburn. Talk about a guy who had an ACL injury last year. It has really been a bright spot for this Florida defense.
And Pyburn sets up the Gators offense in perfect position. They'll start in the red zone from the 15-yard line.
That clock for Kromenhoek has just got to go off soon. He's got to get that ball out of his hand, just throw it away.
Pitch left, Jacoby Jackson inside the 5, tumbling forward. A gain of 13. Touchdown saving tackle by Thomas. But Florida upping the tempo, trying to punch it in here on a 1st and goal.
Run the ball into the end zone right here.
Untouched. Jacoby Jackson opens the scoring. Touchdown, Gators.
And you just felt that sack, strip, fumble recovery really ignited this Florida Gators team, and they stepped on the gas. 2 great runs, and just like that, put 6 points on the board.
That's Jacoby Jackson who gets the opening touchdown, but you said it, Rocky, the defense, a huge assist there to force the fumble. Pyburn, his first forced fumble of the season, comes at a great time.
Jacoby Jackson with just a great job of reading the defense. You see the linebacker hit that gap, and boom, he just pops right to the outside. He was going to come right downhill into that B. Gap closes. Just naturally, Jackson pops it to the outside where there was no Seminole defenders for the easy touchdown. This Florida offense, Montrell Johnson, great running back, Jaden Ball, who we've talked about, and Jacoby Jackson, kind of a 3-headed monster for this Gators run game. But it's all been set up by this Gators defense, Jay. Already in this game, they have 5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, a fumble recovery. They are igniting this team.
And for Florida State, the turnovers have been a problem all season. One of the worst in all of college football, with a turnover margin of -13. Let's go back into the studio, check in with Kevin Connors. Thanks, Kevin. I think it's safe to say Oregon's going to be playing in the college football playoff, but a lot still to be decided. I thought we'd have a bunch of teams that felt pretty good about where they thought. I feel like there's so much to play for.
But this rivalry weekend, how fun has this been? Georgia Tech, Georgia last night, Ohio State, Michigan today.
I think you want to spoil the party. So even if you're out of it, if you can spoil it for your rival, stick it to your rival. And Tuesday, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese and the guys will break them down top to bottom. Live interview with committee chairman Ward Manuel as well. 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. I think actually your Notre Dame Fighting Irish are
looking in a great
secured a spot. Kromenhoek in trouble again. He's been under duress this entire quarter. Pressure came from Bryce Thornton, the safety who came down. A late flag comes in here.
There is no foul for an ineligible player downfield. 3rd down.
So no penalty after all. 3rd and long upcoming.
And you can just tell this Gator defense has put out the mandate. We are going to get number 14 out of rhythm early. And this is Bryce Thornton coming on the rush. Cam Davis, the running back, can't pick him up. They are not going to allow Luke Kromenhoek to sit back there and figure the quarterback position out.
3rd and 10. Kromenhoek gets rid of it. Sails way over the head of Hakeem Williams. And Florida State will be forced to punt.
And that ball sails high, and you can tell the pressure that Florida's been bringing all night kind of amped up Kromenhoek here. A nice clean pocket, maybe even a little bit before he had to unleash that ball, and then sailed high on him. And that's what pressure does. It just makes you unsettled as a quarterback. This is a rhythm-based pass offense. They want that back foot to hit and find the open receiver, but when you got Florida Gators coming at you from every angle, it makes it tough.
DK upended at the 30. Not much of a return there for Florida. You take a look at the Gators season, September, they want to flush that. They're playing the second hardest schedule in college football, but a tough start to the year. 3 different starting quarterbacks. Really, when they inserted Lagway, this team hit a new gear.
And since that bye week, they're 4-3, but it's been that man right there. You're right, Jay. That's just ignited this team and taken them to new levels. Billy Napier talked about how, kind of early on in spring practice, he didn't really wow that much. But then they put him in the spring game, and he just, when the lights are on, he just rose to new heights. And he said, right at that point, hey, we have something here. And as the season's gone on, they've gone to him. It's been a great move.
Throwing on 1st down. That pass is caught. Acrobatic effort by Aiden Mizell. That's actually Lagway's first completion of the night. He was 0 for 3 before that ball.
And Lagway's been a little bit off here early tonight. And again, this is, it's a road game, rivalry place, hostile environment. And a little bit inaccurate. He also paid for it here with the hit. It's Florida State defense not going to make it easy on him.
The Gators go back to the run game. This is Montrell Johnson Jr. He spun down just shy of the first down, gain of 8.
Good to see him get Montrell Johnson involved. He's been a huge part of this run game. Goes over 500 rush yards on the season.
Florida 0 for 2 on third down, trying to move the sticks here, and they do. Right up the middle. Powerful run by Montrell Johnson Jr. And he came to Florida with Billy Napier from Louisiana. Napier said the first time he saw Johnson in a scrimmage in Louisiana, he wrote down, this guy's a real dude.
He is. You can see he just has that thing those special running backs have where they're just patient, and then when that hole opens up, boom, go right through it.
And Napier's been letting him tote the rock ever since. Play action, Lagway. Escaping pressure, tried to check it down to Johnson and missed him.
Tell you what, I've been impressed with this Florida State defensive front. Now, there's some holes on this Florida State defense, but their starting front four, they got some dudes up there. And they're pushing some guys back here and not making it easy, not making a nice pocket for DJ Lagway to just camp back there and pick this defense apart.
That defensive line delivers there. A brick wall of maroon and gold. Marvin Jones Jr. swallowing up the freshman. For Mike Norvell, 13 wins a year ago, Bear Bryant Coach of the Year, and now trying to avoid loss number 10 on the season. That pass is dropped on 3rd and 13, so the Florida State defense keeping the Seminoles in it in this first half, and some uncharacteristic miscues for this Gators offense that has looked terrific the last 2 weeks, beating top 25 teams in LSU and Ole Miss.
DJ Lagway looks uncharacteristically just rattled tonight. Just not accurate with his throws, and then when they are there, there's drops. He's just 1 of 6 on the night here. The run game has been pretty good for Florida, but the pass game lacking severely.
Well, you heard Ashley ask Mike Norvell about his offense, who's still waiting to get going. Has to be happy with his defense so far tonight. You know, Norvell, preseason top 10, now trying to avoid their 10th loss on the season. A hard year for him personally. Had to fire 2 coordinators that he really liked and a wide receivers coach. You see Alex Atkins, the offensive coordinator for Florida State, who was let go after the loss to Notre Dame. Well, our Pete Thamel, if you missed it just a couple of hours ago, reporting Gus Malzahn will resign as the head coach of UCF to become Mike Norvell's offensive coordinator here at Florida State.
Again, that's huge news. Gus Malzahn, he is well known throughout college football and those that follow it as being an offensive guru, a guy that can design plays and light up scoreboards.
Now, there was talk, will Norvell even be allowed to continue after this disastrous season? And I think that's a big indication that, yes, he will, being allowed to make that decision. And Norvell told us, look, this has been an unimaginably challenging season, but the response will be quick. And I think with that Malzahn news, it's even quicker than we anticipated.
And that's the thing about the transfer portal and how things go in college football these days. The turnaround can be very, very quick.
You go from ACC champions 13-1 to now 2-9. Can you get right back to 13 wins just that quickly? Florida State's hoping so, as they've made a couple of nice plays here to move the 6 on this drive.
They can, Jay, but they got to get the quarterback right. I think that's where the biggest miss was coming into this season right now, was didn't get the right quarterback that was needed, just didn't work out. And they're hoping that Luke Kromenhoek can possibly be that guy to be the leader next year.
Yeah, the true freshman making his 2nd start of his career. Running and ankle tackled, falling forward for a gain of 2. You know, Kromenhoek's a winner, won 2 state championships at Benedictine Military School in Savannah, Georgia. Dual threat quarterback. Played a lot of defense in high school as well. Tough kid. If you missed the story, before the game he was Elite 11 roommates with DJ Lagway. Here they are playing as true freshmen in a huge rivalry game.
A great performance by Kromenhoek tonight can go a long way to him possibly being the guy moving forward next year.
Running the ball on 2nd and 8. Makai Danzy, Tallahassee native, another fellow true freshman for this Seminoles team as the young players being put on a big stage tonight for Florida State. Gain of 6, hits up a 3rd and short.
That's what a year like this is all about, just trying to find guys that are going to be a part of the future, guys that can play, young guys. There'll be some other additions through the portal, but they want to find the players that are already on this roster to see if they can help.
Kromenhoek keeps it himself. First down, Florida State, as the freshman enters Gator territory, gain of 15.
I'm not sure if Florida came into this game realizing how much of a run threat Luke Kromenhoek was going to be. He's been very effective with his legs and a great ball fake, riding that thing down and pulling it. Great decision when the defensive end collapsed. He kept it himself for the first down.
Empty set here for Kromenhoek. Surveys, decides to take off and run again.
And I'm fine with that. You know, he had some time, so he was patient in the pocket, went through his progressions, 1, 2, 3, it wasn't there. Saw a little window open up, and instead of just forcing a ball into coverage, he went forward and got a couple positive yards. Take 4 yards on a run all day.
This is the most comfortable he has looked for Florida State.
And I think having their run game get going has really helped him settle in.
Lawrence Toafili in the backfield. Gets the carry, makes a cut, trying to churn those legs for the first down, and he does. Pushing that pile. The football came out, I believe, after the run. Toafili signaling that he's down. The officials
and this is
talking this over. Florida saying that's a fumble, should be our ball. Shamar James rips that ball out.
The ruling on the field is the ball carrier down, having made the line to gain. The previous play is under further review.
And that is the dangerous part when you're churning your legs for the extra yards in a rivalry game. I think Shamar James poked it free. They'll take a look as we step aside.
After further review, the ball carrier fumbled the ball. It was recovered by the defense. First down, Florida.
Now, this is the type of season it's been for Florida State. Just as they're moving the ball for the first time tonight, this was going to be a Seminoles first down. Instead, Toafili has it ripped out by James. James recovered the football after they took a look at it upstairs. So it'll be Gators ball, and that is the second forced fumble by this Florida defense tonight.
It's just the things, Jay, that in a season that's already just not gone their way, haven't been able to get a lot of explosive plays, and on top of that, you turn the ball over twice already in this game. It's the things you can't afford, the things that make Mike Norvell just go crazy.
They are minus 14 turnover margin on the season, -2 tonight.
And their 19th turnover on the season.
Lagway in trouble. So tough to take down. Spins out of the sack. Throws on the run. First down, Florida. There's a flash of what makes this freshman quarterback so special.
And look, before that throw, DJ Lagway is 1 of 6. Looks all out of sorts. Just can't seem to find any rhythm, and then he just goes and makes a Superman-type play.
240 pounds, tough to take down. Darrell Jackson Jr. just learned that the hard way. He had him wrapped up, but couldn't complete the sack. And Lagway turns it into a gain of 17.
That's the confidence builder Lagway needed.
And Florida yet to establish the run tonight. Jacoby Jackson stonewalled there. Take another look at this special play.
Well, you mentioned the size, 6'3", 240. I mean, he's wrapped up by one of the best defensive linemen in the ACC. Darrell Jackson just rips away, spins out, and finds DK down the field. I mean, look at this. This is incredible. Darrell Jackson's like, what do I got to do? And then the perfect ball placement to DK.
You played defense for 8 years in the NFL. How demoralizing of a play is that for a defense?
Oh, it's just terrible. You got a guy that's in a position to make a play, and you can't do it because of just the special talents of a great player.
And now Lagway in a rhythm finds Elijah Badger. The Badgers had a quiet first half. That's his first reception of the night.
Good to see him getting Elijah Badger going. He's far and away the most explosive wide receiver on this Gator team. And you see, again, just a freshman. A year ago, this guy's playing high school football, and now 4-1 as the starter, making his 6th start here tonight.
And that only loss came against Georgia. He missed the second half of that game, so 4-0 in games he has started and finished. 3rd and 3. Gators move the chains on the ground. Jacoby Jackson rumbling his way for a Florida first down, gain of 7.
That run right there, Jay, I finally felt this Florida offensive line. Austin Barber, the left tackle, moving bodies, getting that second level, allowing Jacoby Jackson to run right up the pipe.
Play action. Lagway tosses it wide open. Hayden Hanson, the tight end, takes it for another Florida first down. Let's check in down on the sideline with Ashley.
Well, DJ Lagway credits a lot of his success this season to Graham Mertz for being that leader, that vet on the team that's really taken him under his wing. They room together on road trips. They go through tests and tips together. Coach has said it's been incredible to see how Graham has handled the entire situation with the Gators committing to DJ, but it's been so good for DJ in his development. Lagway added that he actually studies Mertz' preparation, his notes, and now he carries himself like a pro.
58 offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Mertz obviously out for the season with that torn ACL, and for a player who's out of eligibility, would have been fine to just say, hey guys, I'm going to try and rehab this on my own. Instead, still travels with them on the road. Roommates, as Ashley said, with Lagway on road trips.
Yeah, that's just a great move by Graham Mertz here to be involved in DJ Lagway. You're a young player, you got to learn from someone how it's done at this level, and Graham Mertz has really taught him a lot.
Now Lagway finally into a rhythm here. He only had one completed pass before this drive began. He is 4 for 4 on this drive.
And it just felt like he was just a little bit stagnant. He couldn't really get in the flow of this game. And there's Graham Mertz. Had the injury and is still wanted to be a part of this Florida program here, helping out DJ Lagway, helping out this entire team.
Big hole opens up. Really, for the first time tonight, Jacoby Jackson runs right through it. Gain of 7. KJ Kirkland in the secondary makes the stop for the Seminoles at a 3rd and 4 upcoming.
Before, you wonder, do they get DJ at Lagway outside the pocket, let him move around and let him find a receiver? That seems to be where he's really, really good, when he's just creating back there and finding the open receiver.
3rd and 4. Seminoles send pressure. Lagway, quick release to the end zone. It's intercepted. Azareye'h Thomas, the junior cornerback, with a huge interception in the end zone. And that is the first interception for this Florida State team against an FBS opponent since September 21st.
And I think Lagway's upset. You got DK and Berth are both in the same area. Something happened there with how that route unfolded there, but nevertheless, a Florida State turnover, and DJ Lagway not happy.
So Florida State comes up with an interception in the end zone. DJ Lagway not happy.
And I think he's expecting Burke, who's on the outside, to hitch up, and then DK to run the slot fade, but they both run right to the same area. And you can see both DK and Burke are saying, hey, what's going on here? I'm supposed to be here, you're supposed to be there. And DJ Lagway is confused as well. It's a side adjustment or something should have happened there, but you can't have two wide receivers in the same spot. Lagway didn't expect it, and that's why the interception happened.
Azareye'h Thomas, his first interception on the season. As a team, that is just the 4th interception on the year forced by Florida State. The last time they had an interception against an FBS team, they had one last week against an FCS opponent, all the way back on September 21st against Cal. They won that game.
It's amazing. I had to double check that like 3 times coming into this game. They've only had 5 takeaways coming in, but they get a big one here.
Right on the money.
Yeah.
Luke Kromenhoek, his best thrown ball of the night, gain of 17.
That was a nice, confident throw by Kromenhoek, standing tall in the pocket, going through the progressions. And you can see he's got a strong arm. He just laced that ball right in between 2 white jerseys. I just like the body language right now of Luke Kromenhoek. Seems confident.
Bridges took a knock, and Florida cannot afford to lose another player in this secondary. Already 5 injuries sustained to this Gator secondary this season. Very thin in the secondary.
And Jakeem Jackson, Jason Marshall, Asa Turner, Devin Moore, Aaron Gates. I mean, the list goes on for this Florida secondary.
First and 10. 4:43 remaining in this first half. Florida State trying to capitalize off the interception in the end zone. Play action. Kromenhoek dialing up a deep shot into double coverage. That pass is incomplete.
It was good coverage on the back end by Florida. That ball just got away from Kromenhoek a little bit.
They were taking a shot against Jameer Grimsley, the freshman corner who came in for the injured Bridges.
And Kromenhoek had a clean pocket. He's trying to find Ja'Kai Douglas.
Is there enough contact there? The officials say no, but you could see that Grimsley did get a hand going against Douglas.
But I like the move there. Mike Norvell said, look, they're sending another secondary player out. They got to rotate another backup in. Let's try to take a shot. Let's test that secondary. It just didn't work out.
Blown up in the backfield. Roydell Williams hit immediately by Cameron James. The sophomore shot in. It's a loss of 5.
This Gator defense just attacks. There he is right at the defensive end position, just shooting right through, just splits the double team and comes in the backfield. That's the 6th tackle for loss by this Gators defense.
Third and 14. Gators send 4. Kromenhoek trying to escape right. And he's dragged down. Might have gotten the ball off. Jaden Robinson was in pursuit.
Room on the field as the ball carrier down.
This Florida defense has been relentless in this first half, and they count it as a sack and a loss of 7.
This is just a great job defensively by Florida. They're going to rush 4, but they're going to put Jaden Robinson on spy. And he just presses the pocket, presses. As soon as Kromenhoek escapes it, boom.
24 for Florida is 30.
Runs him down. That's exactly how you play that spy technique. You don't just run up in there. You just patient, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Comes out of the pocket, and you use your speed and bring him to the turf.
Well, Alex Mastrobano back on. Ray Guy Award finalist, which will go to the nation's best punter. He has had a busy season. Gets all of this one, driving DK back to the 10-yard line. Does well to get back to the 20. That's where DJ Lagway and the Gators offense will have it when we come back. somehow made it to the road game at SMU 4 days later, had surgery the next week, still gets to the Clemson game, and then it was a much-needed bye week for Pave. That's true fandom right there.
True fandom, and the fact that he looks like Ric Flair makes it even more awesome. But speaking of awesome, look at this play. The eyes stay downfield, escape out of the pocket, and look at the ball placement. What I was talking about before the game. It's one thing to be accurate, to put the ball on the receiver. It's another thing to have the placement away from the defender on the upfield shoulder. Those are the little details of the quarterback position that DJ Lagway, as just a freshman, has already figured out.
I was going to say, before that excellent throw by Lagway, Matt Pave and the Florida State fans have to be pretty happy with this first half, particularly their defense. But here's the thing, Rocky, you have to hold the line here to end this first half. Keep it a one-score game headed into intermission as Florida takes us down to the 2-minute timeout. So Florida with 3 timeouts, 2 minutes left to this first half, and DJ Lagway finding form, a true freshman making plays like these. Thanks, Kevin. Looking forward to it. Great play by Arch Manning to ignite the Texas offense, playing at A&M. You have to love rivalry week. And so many great matchups all day today across ESPN's family of networks. I'll tell you what, Texas A&M, it just feels right that those two are playing each other once again.
The Aggies have had a fantastic season, looking to cap that thing off with a huge win over their rival tonight.
Lagway and Florida into Seminoles territory on this drive. They have all 3 timeouts. In our matchup tonight, 2 true freshman quarterbacks. This is the 68th meeting between these 2 teams in this great in-state rivalry. The first time that both teams are starting a true freshman, and it's the first time in all of college football this season that 2 freshman quarterbacks are going at it. Hayden Hansen, some hard yards there, gets to the 30 on a gain of 10.
It's a good job, Florida, right there, just spreading the field out, letting DJ Lagway read, finding the open receiver, and put the ball in the numbers.
1st and 10 from the Florida State 30. Trying to cash in and make this a 2-possession game before halftime. And it's worth noting Florida gets the ball to start this second half as well. The Gators use their first of 3 timeouts here.
Timeout, Florida, the first of the half, 30-second timeout.
Great rivalry games throughout the years. Florida fans will remember 2008, the Gators with Tim Tebow in the rain. With Tebow, a great day, 3 touchdowns through the air, rushed for 1 as well. I'll always remember that game from how Tebow's uniform looked at the end of it.
What an iconic shot. That maroon all over him because of the wet conditions.
And Florida goes on to win the national championship that year. There was a long streak during this rivalry where if you won this game, you would go on to win the national championship. Another look at the jersey. That's awesome.
And people were like, is that blood on his jersey? No, that's just the maroon from the field paint because it's been raining all day. Still remember that. All right, got a little trips concept to the top of the screen there. We'll get some sort of high-low on the secondary.
Lagway steps up, throws. It's caught. Jim DK climbs the ladder, hauls it in, a gain of 25, and Florida's right on the doorstep. They rush to the line. Lagway to Johnson, and he's swallowed up. Omar Graham, the redshirt sophomore linebacker, big stop there.
It's a great job. Again, it's that trips concept to the top, but they bring DK on a dig route across the middle, and Lagway puts it up high where only DK can get it. And DK is just one of those exceptional route runners, a quarterback's best friend. You know where he's going to be. He's not going to be a yard too short or too long in his breaks. It's a guy a quarterback can trust.
Billy Napier uses his second timeout, so 1 remaining, 31 seconds left of this first half. And with that 1 timeout remaining, you can afford to run the football again here.
Absolutely. I just still wonder about the health of the hamstring of Lagway, because this is a situation with an athletic quarterback like him. You'd love to just roll him out of the pocket and allow him to survey the field and have that run-pass option.
Well, the top target in the passing game has been 17, Jim DK. He's lined up in the slot to the far side of your screen.
You got Elijah Badger toward the bottom of the screen here.
Play action. Lagway off his back foot, throws to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Florida. Marcus Burke shook free in the back of the end zone, and the Gators strike right before halftime.
As we pointed out earlier, it might have been Marcus Burke who might have run the wrong route on that DJ Lagway interception. Right here, he runs the correct route. Comes from the other side of the field to the back corner of the end zone, and Lagway puts it on him.
Best drive of the night for Florida. They go 80 yards in 9 plays. DJ Lagway, a perfect 4 for 4. Through the air, 60 yards. There's a flag down on the extra point.
DJ Lagway hasn't been perfect tonight by no stretch, but he's missing big throws.
Defense number 11, lined up in the neutral zone at the snap. Penalties decline. The try is good.
You'll see Marcus Burke come from the offense's right side, just entering your screen. And they get a little high-low concept. You get Elijah Badger coming out on about a 5-yard out route, and then Marcus Burke coming behind him at 10 to 12. You put the cornerback in conflict. He can't cover both of them. And then Lagway makes the right decision, throwing the ball to Burke. That's excellent stuff. Beautiful.
And for Florida, they cash in right before halftime, and they'll get the ball to start the second half. So a potential double score for the Gators to blow this lead open.
And for Florida State, you have to imagine, even if they were able to hold Florida to a field goal there, you go into halftime down 10-0, okay, but giving up a touchdown there late's got to sting.
The kickoff your Week 13 NFL Sunday tomorrow with the Countdown Crew. They'll get started 10 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Break down the big running back battle between Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, and they'll show the top plays from all around the country. Backyard turkey bowls. Hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. Did the Boymans get it going in the backyard on Thanksgiving?
That might have been, well, might have been the only day where we weren't really playing football. the Boyman boys, Bo Bronson and Bryce, 10, 6, and 4, always out there throwing the ball around, but we're able to not get anybody hurt on Thanksgiving, so that's good.
Oh, Mom's happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
So. Florida State being aggressive here. A risky ball, nearly picked by Bridges.
Triquez Bridges has been a big part of this secondary as they've had these injuries all season long on the secondary. I mean, he's played some corner, he's played some safety. They just move him around. He's that kind of athlete. He's been making an impact. Almost came up with an interception there.
And Kromenhoek set to throw again. Can't get rid of it. That's been the story of this first half. Another Florida sack. Cam Jackson to turn it on in that second quarter.
Yeah, after that 1-6 start, he was 8 for 9. He had a couple really nice throws to DK and then found Burke in the back of the end zone right before that half ended. Looks like he's finally in the groove here. And for DJ Lagway, we talked early on, just struggled a little bit. Just looked a little bit out of sorts, but then just made this exceptional Superman-type throw to DK on the sideline. And here comes another one to DK. Perfect ball placement over the outside shoulder, and then finding Burke in the back of the end zone. So that's what quarterbacks got to do. Sometimes it's not always going to be perfect. You're going to have some bad throws. You're going to have pockets collapse on you, but you got to hang in there and stick with it, and he's done that tonight.
So what can the Garnet and Gold do defensively to try and contain Lagway in this second half?
I think the first thing they got to do is stop the run here, because Florida's done a good job in here. There we go.
Right on cue. Montrell Johnson blown up in the backfield. Blake Nicholson the first to get there, but a ton of Seminoles pursued the football to start this second half.
This is a Florida offense that is built on running the football. First and foremost, you got to stop that.
Pre-snap penalty. Ball start against Florida.
Before the snap, false start, offense number 65. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So we mentioned a couple times in the first half, this is the first time that these two teams are playing freshman quarterbacks in the same game against one another. And Kromenhoek had that fumble early in the game, been very conservative in the passing game. We've seen flashes in the run game, and Lagway slow to get going, but found form in that second quarter. 2nd and 19 here. Lagway steps up, throws over the middle, big hit. Shaheem Brown laid the lumber there. Marcus Burke did well to hang on.
And a good job of Lagway stepping up in that pocket, but as he was doing it, his eyes weren't looking around to find where's the defensive end, where's the pressure. The eyes stay down the field right there. It's a perfect look at it. Just nice, easy step up in the pocket, find your receiver.
Third and 9. Florida State sends pressure. Lagway in trouble. Down he goes. Joshua Farmer. The defensive tackle with a big sack on 3rd down, loss of 9. And a statement made by this Florida State defense to start the second half.
We talked, this is the strength of this Florida State unit. Their front just collapsed that pocket with the help of some linebackers. And Joshua Farmer bringing Lagway to the turf. That's a heck of a way to start off this second half.
I think you got to give the Seminoles a lot of credit. You're down 2 touchdowns. You're 2 and 9 on the year. They have not thrown in the towel. This defense setting the tone, getting the ball back. And McCoy shoved out of bounds. Florida State and Mike Norvell arguing that was a little late after McCoy was out of bounds. The hit came in. No flag thrown. Let's check in down on the sideline with Ashley.
Thanks, Jay. Well, I had a chance to speak to both Coach Norvell and Coach Napier at halftime. Coach Napier told me he felt like his team was a little off on offense in the first half. There were some mental errors, and he really wanted to see his guys play better around quarterback DJ Lagway. As for Florida State and Coach Norvell, he actually gathered his guys for a group huddle before they walked into the locker room. He said that he really wanted to just remind them of the simple fact they have 30 more minutes left in their season. Go out there, give it your best, and create some explosive plays.
Well, for Florida State, the biggest thing they got to do here is protect the quarterback. 5 sacks given up in that first half. That's not going to cut it.
You know, only 79 yards of total offense in that first half. Lawrence Toafili, not much room to run there, only a gain of 2.
But for the Seminoles, they're within striking distance here. It's still just a 2-score game. Take care of the football, protect the quarterback, move the ball down the field.
A late handoff there. And Toafili rumbling forward to the 50, a gain of 11, and a Florida State first down.
This run game has been good tonight. Jeremiah Byers, the right tackle you see there on the end, just good job just shuffling his feet lateral to the side, pushing the tackle out of the way.
Throwing on first down, quick hitter. Pass is caught. Malik Benson, his first reception of the night, and a gain of 5. One thing that has plagued the Seminoles offensively this season is they just lack that playmaker. They're the only ACC team without a 500-yard rusher or receiver.
Yeah, you always need that guy, that go-to guy on 3rd down or big situations in the game. They haven't found it here.
Into Florida territory. Slide. And a flag comes in. Luke Kromenhoek getting down. And 3 flags now on the field. Jack Pyburn came in for the Gators. We saw Kromenhoek slide.
Play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 44 defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
And this is always the toughest thing for a defender. You got Luke Kromenhoek, who's 6'4", 210, can run, and right at the last second he goes down. It's just hard to pull off that. It's unfortunate, but it's a penalty that's called in today's football.
We saw a Kromenhoek slide go against the Seminoles in the first half, where it negated a first down. And this time, it leads to a first down inside the 30. Kromenhoek in trouble. The pitch is off. Toafili with room to run. Inside the 20 before he's wrestled out of bounds. So what should have been a sack turns into a gain of 10 and another Florida State first down.
He's done an excellent job by Kromenhoek. First of just staying alive. I mean, look at this. He has Bryce Thornton draped all over him in the presence of mind, the vision to find Toafili. Great play.
Florida State into the red zone for the first time tonight. That pass is incomplete, looking for the freshman tight end, Landon Thomas.
And I still like, Jay, how they've used Luke Kromenhoek in the run game tonight. He's been effective. Been a nice little change up for this Florida D.
Fumble on 2nd and 10. Still loose. Kromenhoek finally claws it back. That could have been disastrous for the freshman quarterback of this Florida State offense. They will settle for a loss of 3.
Florida State very, very lucky there. Zone replay. Kromenhoek is reading Jack Pyburn. The end. Just for whatever reason, he's getting that football sorted in his hand. It goes to the turf.
Jaden Robinson has his hands on the ball for Florida, the sophomore linebacker.
I think it was Kromenhoek that knocked it back out of his hands and then recovered it. That's great heads-up play.
3rd and 13. Florida sends pressure, and that pass is incomplete. So the Seminoles will have to settle for a field goal attempt. Good news for Florida State. They got one of the nation's best kickers, Ryan Fitzgerald, who is a Lou Groza Award finalist, one of 3. That'll ultimately, one of them will win the award for the nation's best place kicker. He is 12 for 12 on the season. And Fitzgerald from 39 puts it right through. Still perfect on the season, 13 of 13 for Ryan Fitzgerald, and the Seminoles are on the board. This is the ACC on ESPN. The Garnet and Gold on the board. Florida State through Nick Fitzgerald. A 39-yard field goal makes it 14-3. Let's check in down on the sideline with Ashley.
Well, Ryan Fitzgerald told me he's really trying to take tonight in. It is his final game with Florida State. He's also up for the Lou Groza Collegiate Place Kicker Award. He said, that's such an accomplishment for me. I've dreamed of it since I was a little kid. He told me he actually had been out since he was 7 years old in the backyard with his dad, just practicing kicking. Now it's a dream come true to be nominated for that award, but it doesn't stop with Ryan. His younger brother is a senior in high school. He's also a kicker. He says, you know what, it's just a family affair. And believe it or not, Jay, he may have an offer from Florida State to come here.
How about that? Yeah, kicking is the family business for the Fitzgeralds. And those kickers are such a weapon. Sometimes you're worried about your offense and your defense, and do we have that pass rusher, and do we have the explosive wide receiver? But the difference in a lot of these games can come down to 3 points. Having a good kicker makes all the difference.
And this Florida State defense has given the Seminoles life in this game. They have disrupted the Florida offense that had been playing so well coming into tonight, trying to get the run game going. That'll be a first down through the freshman Jaden Baugh, gain of 12.
Now, you said it, Jay. Look, in a year where for Florida State it's been hard to find some positive things, you know, they get a stop, force a 3 and out, and get 3 points. You can see Mike Norvell positive on that sideline, but here comes this Florida run game. It's really been effective all night.
The ball was quiet in that first half, only 3 carries. He gets the touch again. Cole didn't open up that time, but he's such a downhill runner, still takes it for a gain of 4.
Yeah, this zone run scheme by Florida, it's a zone scheme, but it's not necessarily designed to go to the outside. It's designed to start to widen that defense, but then really go north-south.
Lagway on 2nd and 6, throws, pass is caught. That's Elijah Badger, who spun down short of the first down marker, so a 3rd and 2 upcoming.
And I think DJ Lagway, I've been impressed with how, again, he started off kind of slow, but didn't allow himself to go in the tank. He's come back and been very effective. Now a key 3rd down here to try to keep this drive going.
And it's Baugh who stays in the backfield on the right hip of Lagway. 2 freshmen for Florida. Trying to move the chains. Lagway throws, nearly intercepted. Shyheim Brown got his hands on it.
And I'll tell you what, though, Jay, Daryl Jackson for Florida State, the defensive tackle, has been in Lagway's kitchen all night, harassing DJ Lagway. What a great matchup that's been here tonight. And here we go, Florida State forcing another punt.
Down 2 touchdowns, and Florida starting with the ball. You wondered if the Gators would start to open up this lead, and this Seminoles defense has responded in a big way. A special teams miscue takes it all away. McCoy muffed the punt, gives it right back to Florida. Rocco Underwood, the long snapper, was in perfect position, and that's the type of season it's been for the Seminoles.
And you just can't believe it, right? Here's the momentum is going the way of Florida State, another 3 and out, and Mike Norvell is just saying, look, the only thing that matters in this game is taking care of the football, and just more turnovers, and you said you just can't believe it. The unfortunate things that have happened to this Florida State team all year.
But you feel terrible for this Florida State defense. It's been terrific. Think about Florida's first touchdown of the game. They took over on the Seminoles' 15-yard line, punched it in 2 plays, and now they'll get it on the 12.
Toafili earlier that stopped a nice drive, and McCoy there.
In a season full of demoralizing sequences for Florida State, yet add another. The long snapper, Rocco Underwood, snaps the ball, runs down the field, and then bounces right into his lap.
Right place at the right time. That's why you run down there. A lot of times the defense, they never block the long snapper, so if those guys get down the field, good things happen.
Florida inside the 10, trying to punch it in. Lagway had a wide open Elijah Badger and missed him. DJ Lagway continues to just be a little off tonight.
Yeah, just inconsistent, and the greatest quality a quarterback must have is consistency. I mean, that's a wide open wide receiver, perfectly run route by Badger. Stems that slant route to the outside, comes back underneath, he's wide open, the ball sails on Lagway. It's one, you can make those wow throws, but a coach will take just consistent throws all the time. He'll take that any day of the week.
Lagway surveys, rolls right. Nobody open, just takes it out of bounds. And the Florida State defense put in a terrible position, delivers again. Can't say enough good things about how the Seminoles have played defensively in this third quarter.
It's been exceptional tonight. You talk about the things to be positive about and try to springboard into next season, how this defense has risen to the occasion and players have stepped up. It's been a real bright spot.
So Florida will settle for a field goal attempt with Trey Smack. From 30. Smack had plenty on it. Sails it right through. So Florida back up by 2 touchdowns. They settle for 3 after the muffed punt. "25 yards. He'll let you know it too.
Very humble.
Not quite the next Ryan Fitzgerald.
Right.
Who's obviously the excellent place kicker and Luke Rosa Award finalist for Florida State. He's got the Seminoles' lone 3 points tonight. Midway through this third quarter, Florida State about to get the ball back, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Here's a look at next weekend's ABC college football slate. It starts Friday night, 8 Eastern time, with Army in Tulane in the American Athletic Championship game, and then a monster triple header kicks off Big 12 Championship, then SEC Championship, and the ACC Championship between Clemson and SMU. Miami going down to Syracuse earlier today. The season started thinking maybe Florida State would be defending an ACC championship. They find themselves at the wrong end of the conference standings this season. Kromenhoek's been on the run all night. Did he get the ball off in time? Miles Graham was hot in pursuit.
And I think Kromenhoek has done a pretty good job tonight. He's just not getting much help from his protection. You're a young quarterback and you don't have a ton of college football experience, and those bullets are flying as fast as they are out on that field tonight. It just makes it tough. Again, like, you can point to a lot of deficiencies in this Seminole team this year, but I think the offensive line play has been one of the center things that has contributed to this team not having the kind of year they want.
Running the ball on 2nd and 10. Good cut there. Samuel Singleton. First down, Florida State on a gain of 15. That's Singleton's first carry of the night.
And as soon as I say that about the offensive line, they open up a nice hole. That was a good job. And that's what's frustrating. It's like, look at that. I mean, you got guys on the second level, and that's what can be frustrating if you're a Seminole fan. You're saying, look, you've shown you can do it. Just we can't follow it up with 3 negative plays.
Kromenhoek pitch. Running right. Spun down at the line of scrimmage. No running room that time for Samuel Singleton Jr.
And they've been very safe with Luke Kromenhoek tonight. Haven't asked him to do too much. I think to his credit, he hasn't forced the ball and tried to make plays that weren't there. Turn the ball over. Can't have that.
Kromenhoek turns around, finds Cam Davis. First down, Florida State into Gators territory. A gain of 14 as the Seminoles have strung together some positive plays.
And I like that. Good misdirection there. You got to play in a fast defense, get them to flow one way and come back the other way. Nice throw and catch by Cam Davis.
Low snap, Kromenhoek fields it well, throws. Nearly intercepted. Triquez Bridges stepped in front of that pass from the true freshman. Second time tonight. He's had a chance of a pick and has settled for a pass breakup.
Yeah, here's that last play here. You're going to get coming to the left, and you see all those white jerseys start to come that way, and then you circle back around with the screen to Cam Davis. That's a well-designed play.
Florida State's been comfortable running it on 2nd and long. They've had success on this drive previously, but that time stood up, no gain for Roydell Williams. Tyreek Sapp and Cam Jackson, the two up front for Florida, making the play.
It's good to see Cam Jackson back in there. If you recall about this, second play of the game, he went down. Didn't look pretty, but fortunately, both Cam and the Gators, looks like he's okay.
Third and 10 for Florida State. Lawrence Toafili back into the game in motion. Good protection. Toafili bobbles it, then gathers, breaks a tackle for a Florida State first down. How about the fight from the fifth-year senior to keep the drive alive?
Great job all around by Florida State. Florida brings just 4, but a nice pocket created by the offensive line. Kromenhoek finding Lawrence Toafili, and I think their best offensive weapon for the first down.
First and 10 to the Gators 33. 8th play of this Seminoles drive. They run it with Roydell Williams. He is stuffed again. This Gators run defense has come alive as there's some pushing and shoving over the 30-yard line.
Bad dudes on that Florida defensive front. Tyreek Sapp, Caleb Banks, Cam Jackson, Jack Pyburn's had a nice game from the linebacker position.
Kromenhoek escapes the sack, tucks and runs past the 30, spinning and falling forward to the 26. Gutsy run by the true freshman on a broken play.
That's what you need out of your quarterback, especially when your offensive line is struggling. Do you have a guy that's athletic enough, strong enough to just keep the play alive and make something out of nothing? Kromenhoek, being the great athlete, former linebacker in high school, makes a big play there.
3rd and 3. They run it with Williams. And he is spun down, shy of the line to gain. Now you are comfortably in range for Ryan Fitzgerald, but do you leave the offense on the field for a 4th and short?
I think you're having a nice drive here. I think you go for it. At some point, you need to get some points.
Mike Norvell agrees with you. 4th and 2, ESPN analytics say go. Kromenhoek goes under center. Kept it. Play action, wide open. Busted coverage. All the way to the 5-yard line, a 4th and 2, and the true freshman Luke Kromenhoek delivers with some trickery.
An incredible job of deception on that play. Luke Kromenhoek sold that run fake. The entire stadium thought he'd handed that ball off. And he finds Amari Williams.
So we'll step aside. Florida State in business. A gain of 20. Sets up a 1st and goal. And limping off, his teammates coming over after the freshman made a spectacular play on 4th and 2. And sets up Florida State at the 5-yard line. And Rocky, imagine the Seminoles are going to take 4 shots if they need to punch this thing in and make it a 1-touchdown game.
No doubt. This is 4-down territory here. In the best position of the night to put 6 points on the board. Florida State, I mean, this is positive. You're finding ways to hang around here, and then this.
Fumble on the pitch. Cam Davis couldn't handle it, and it's Florida football. Disastrous for Florida State. Have it inside the 5. Davis couldn't handle the freshman-to-freshman toss, and George Gums Jr. takes it away for the Gators.
I don't know if I've ever seen a team more snake-bitten than Florida State. They're knocking on the door. They got all the momentum and just a simple toss play. It's unconscionable how they can have these turnovers and these things happen at the worst possible time. I mean, they are absolutely in this football game inside the 5-yard line and have another turnover.
The 4th Florida State turnover on the night. 3 fumbles and the muffed punt.
They had 4 turnovers, and Florida's only ahead by 14 points.
Jacoby Jackson runs it to start the Florida drive.
Played good, getting takeaways. We've got to take advantage of those opportunities.
And speaking of the defense, how big was that recovery to end the 3rd?
We've had some, we talk about takeaway behavior, and we've been fortunate today to create some takeaways.
All right, Coach, thanks.
All right, thank you.
We got to give credit to this Florida State defense. Have just been put in some bad situations. The 4 turnovers by the Seminole offense and special teams put them in some bad spots.
They've been good on 3rd down, getting this Gators offense off the field. Just 2 of 9 before this pickup by Florida. Lagway had plenty of time in the pocket, found fellow freshman Tank Hawkins to move the chains.
And DJ Lagway, I think tonight, he's made some special throws. He's made some inconsistent throws, but I think you see the progress, you see the talent, you see his leadership.
Nice hole opens up there. Jacoby Jackson runs through it. A gain of 8.
There's no better friend to a quarterback, a developing young quarterback, than a great run game. Jacoby Jackson tonight, 9 rushes, 45 yards.
They go right back to Jackson. So Florida certainly not as sharp tonight as they have been the last 2 weeks when they've knocked off ranked opponents. Let's take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One. Ole Miss fell out of the top 12 because of that loss to Florida. Clemson with the loss of South Carolina, they'll be falling out. I guess the big question is how far does the committee drop Miami after the number 6 Hurricanes lose to Syracuse?
Where does Notre Dame go to after a big win at USC? Look at this.
Big hole opens up. Montrell Johnson is gone. Touchdown, Florida. 65-yard scamper for Montrell Johnson Jr.
And check out this hole that Montrell Johnson sees. And this Florida offensive line just been hammering away at this FSU defense. Look, that's right up the pipe, right in the A-gap. You get Aiden Mizell, the wide receiver, with a nice block downfield. And you feel like it was just a matter of time. This Florida State defensive front was doing a good job all night, but sooner or later, they just start to break away from it.
And with that run, Montrell Johnson Jr. goes over 3,000 career rushing yards for a running back that's been so good for Billy Napier. Started at Louisiana, finishing here at Florida. Game open. 24-3.
Get 50% off your first year of Target Circle 360 membership with unlimited same-day delivery.
When you look at the stat sheet, Rocky, it tells a story. Montrell Johnson Jr., over 3,000 career rush yards, 33 touchdowns. The bigger stat tonight, 7 Florida State fumbles. 7. 4 of them lost.
And when you're already a unit that's not as explosive as you want to be, you give the other team more opportunities. In this case, 4 turnovers have turned into 17 Gator points. Just can't have it. It's just kind of a microcosm of their entire season of what can go wrong will.
And they never come at good times, turnovers, but these have come at particularly poor times for Florida State. Just as they were gaining some momentum in the game, each time it just gets sapped by these fumbles.
That's been the commonality of the takeaways and the turnovers. It's just when this offense is starting to get settled in. Okay, going on a nice drive there. Toafili puts the ball on the ground. And then right there, they get the ball. They're down inside the 5-yard line. Just a simple little pitch play, and you get another turnover.
On the previous play, they do call roughing the passer. Yep. Easy call as McCray extends that arm and clearly hits Kromenhoek's helmet. Taking a deep shot on first down after the penalty. Inches away from a big play. Just missed Benson there.
I think it's a good idea to take a shot there, just a little bit overthrown by Kromenhoek. He had a step. Ball was put on the right shoulder, just a little bit too far out in front of Benson.
Kromenhoek in trouble again, checks it down. Landon Thomas loses 3.
Kromenhoek had not 1, not 2, but 3 Gator defenders chasing him.
He's been running for his life all night.
He really has, and it's just, you can't say enough how tough it is for a young quarterback who's still trying to figure out this game to be faced with this kind of pressure all night.
And that is the 10th tackle for loss Florida has caused in this game. Kromenhoek, great throw on a 3rd and 12. The freshman delivers. Ja'Kai Douglas found a soft space in the secondary. First down, Florida State.
And that's the kind of throw that gets your spirits up if you're a Seminole fan. Pocket collapsing around. Great job by Douglas sitting down in the zone. The ball's there on time, on the money.
That's what Kromenhoek can do if he has time in a clean pocket. Won't get that here, on the run again. That's another Florida sack. This one belongs to George Gums Jr.
And as this Seminole team goes into the offseason, they're hitting that transfer portal, try to find ways to make their team better. Finding those offensive linemen has got to be priority number one. You got to give your offense a chance, and they just have not been able to do that consistently this year.
Roydell Williams, flag comes in. As it stands, another tackle for loss. George Gums has been a monster on this possession for Florida.
Holding, offense number 69. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Well, that offensive rebuild you were talking about that should start with the offensive line. It'll be Mike Norvell and Gus Malzahn going to work on the rebuild. 2 hours before kickoff, our colleague Pete Thamel reporting Malzahn resigning as the head coach of UCF to become Florida State's offensive coordinator. What a project it'll be for those two.
And that's big, and that might allow Mike Norvell to focus more on just the entirety of the team instead of being intricate in the play calling. Let Gus Malzahn do what he does.
3rd and 18, and the Florida defense dials up pressure again. Sharif Denson, a sack, a loss of 6. 3 straight plays, Florida just shot in there, and Kromenhoek didn't have a chance.
Denson just comes. You got Kyle Morlock, the tight end. You got Jeremiah Byers on the end. They both go down inside, and no one's there to pick them up. Just look like they're not able to pass off any sort of blitzes or pressures.
So this Florida defense has 7 sacks on the night to go along with 7 fumbles. 4 of them recovered. Gators with a 3-touchdown lead. They'll get the ball back on the other side.
Go.
Now the Florida defense has been relentless tonight. 7 sacks, 4 fumbles recovered. It's been a tough night for this Seminoles fan base, and yet still here the 4th quarter, loud and proud. Taco Bell Live Más student section all season long. Student sections across the country competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. Ashley Stroline down on the sideline for a Florida State team that a year ago, 13 wins, preseason top 10 coming into this season. And you know, those 3 early losses, you got the indication, okay, they're not going to be top 10. I don't think anybody could have predicted it would result in 10 losses on the year, as they're under 9 minutes away from that fate. The defense continues to fight. Daniel Lyons and Joshua Farmer combined there for the Seminoles. I think, Rocky, you said it best. Those fumbles, 4 of them lost, and the sacks they've allowed is just kind of a microcosm for this Florida State season.
And when you're a super explosive bunch and you got playmakers all over here, you can absorb some of those takeaways, but when you're lacking in that area, you got to be especially particular to take care of the football. It just hasn't happened for Florida State tonight.
A 3rd and 11 for Lagway, who finds Marcus Burke. Billy Napier's said it to Ashley a couple of times, once at halftime and once at the end of the 3rd quarter. This offense really hasn't gotten in rhythm for Florida, and yet they're up by 3 touchdowns. You can credit a Florida State defense. They've been put in torturous situations tonight because of the fumbles, and they continue to answer the bell.
And that's what Seminole fans at home right now watching this game are saying. You know, you take away, you get half of those turnovers, you're kind of in this game, and it just hasn't happened. And it's just come with the worst opportunity, the worst times tonight for Florida State.
The Seminoles with the ball back, 7:19 remaining in this 4th quarter. Thank you, Kevin. So we could have 4 Power Conference champions win a conference that they weren't playing in a year ago. Now, Arizona State would be one of them to win the Big 12. Oregon, good chance to win the Big 10. Texas, assuming they hold on to this 17-0 lead against Texas A&M, could beat Georgia, win the SEC, and then SMU could win the ACC. It's wild.
Yeah, SMU in the American Conference last year, not possibly win the ACC, Texas in the Big 12, now in the SEC. It's wild.
Well, welcome to college football in the year 2024. Croman Hawk on the run like he's been all night.
It's been a year, Jay, for a variety of reasons. There's just really not any dominant team. You know, maybe you could say Oregon's been that team, but in years past, there's usually about 3 teams that are just head and shoulders above everyone else. Hasn't been the case, but the parity has been fantastic if you're a college football fan.
And with 12 teams getting in this year, there's just so much uncertainty surrounding who those teams are going to be. Obviously, the 5 highest ranked conference champions getting that auto berth. You'll have a pretty good idea a week from now who those teams would be. And you could have a team like Boise State who's in a good position to get that first round bye, being one of the highest 4 ranked conference champions. Who could have predicted that before the season started?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Jay, is you look at some of the preseason projections, and I can't recall one of them that's going to look like this one's likely to end up. Again, that's part of the fun. It's why you enjoy watching these games, watching your favorite team from week to week.
Croman Hawk escapes left. He's taken down behind the line once again. 8th sack of the night for Florida, and that ties a record for most sacks in this rivalry game.
And Luke Croman Hawk's got to get rid of this ball, though. I understand he's not had a ton of protection here, but at some point, get rid of that football instead of taking another sack.
And 8 sacks for a Florida defense is the most in the Billy Napier era, as the Florida head coach is under 5 minutes and 30 seconds away from beating Florida State for the first time in his tenure. Ball is caught by Ja'Kai Douglas. Florida State first down. It's been talked about a lot, Rocky, really in the last 3 weeks, but Billy Napier, he looked left for dead in September. The turnaround that he has engineered, that he's going to finish this regular season on a 3-game winning streak. Wins against LSU, Ole Miss, and now here Florida State on the road.
Well, to your point, Jay, early season they get 2 double-digit losses, 1 to Miami, 1 to Texas A&M. Got an offense that was inefficient, defense that had kind of lost its way. By all accounts, Billy Napier it was all but certain he was going to be gone. And when then the turnaround came, DJ Lagway takes over at quarterback. That was a huge part of it. They circled the wagons during that bye week. And it's just kind of a credit to, you got to let things play out sometime. You know Billy Napier's a good coach, just kind of let things play out. And I think that patience has really been rewarding the Gator fans.
Dude, speaking with Shamar James, junior linebacker for Billy Napier, he said there was a ton of fight in the locker room. They heard the outside noise that Coach Napier was in trouble, and they rallied behind their head coach. They fought for him, was the words James used, and now it resulted into wins on the football field. And I think the exclamation mark has been the last 3 weeks. You know, beating really good LSU and Ole Miss teams, and you come to Tallahassee and lead by 3 touchdowns here with less than 5 minutes in it. Croman Hawk in trouble. Down he goes again. Flag flies in. As it stands, 9th sack of the night for Billy Napier's defense.
You know, Billy Napier's an offensive guy, but he has got to be really happy with his defense here tonight, and especially this past month.
Holding, defense number 7. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That negates the sack.
Wow. Yeah, but that's one thing about, you talk to folks around this Gator program, and at no time did Billy Napier lose this locker room. At no time did you see or get the feel that his team wasn't playing hard for him or they had kind of shut it down. Wasn't the case at all. had to kind of find out a lot about themselves, find their identity, and they found it at the right time.
Kromenhoek at the 25-yard line, gain of 5. Week 13 Monday Night Football matchup. The Browns taking on the Broncos, 8 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. How about Jameis Winston taking over for the Browns?
Is there a guy having more fun in the NFL than Jameis Winston? I don't think so.
Nice pass, Kromenhoek on the money. Picks out the tight end, Landon Thomas, freshman connection there. Sets up a 1st and goal. 4 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. Seminoles trying to cut this lead to make it a 2-score game. Rumbling up the middle, Lawrence Toafili.
Let's go back and take another look at this last pass by Luke Kromenhoek. Good job, back foot hits, ball's out. Landon Thomas, a young tight end they're real excited about around this program.
Right back to Toafili, and he trying to fight, bulldoze his way to break the plane. The officials taking a long time to decide. They mark him short. Must have been inches away for the 5th-year senior, trying to add one more touchdown to his Florida State career.
There's a good shot here. I think
The ruling on the field is the ball carrier short of the goal line, 3rd down.
I think his head came through, but the ball, the point of the ball they're going to roll didn't break the plane.
The previous play is under
You were
review.
talking about inches away there.
Yeah, real close. Ball's on about the 6-inch line.
They'll take a look at this.
It's hard to see on that initial replay we saw there. It's going to be a little bit hard from behind. There's certainly not indisputable video evidence there from that angle. And there's no question Toafili's head crosses the line, but
I think he's in.
yeah, that second surge there looks like he may have gotten it. This might be our best look.
TJ Ferguson, the left guard, blocking your look, but I think that's a touchdown.
And that second look right there looks like it. Second little effort he had there. Looks like that point that ball might have crossed.
Yeah, that's
right there. That second surge there. Even though that angle is not right down the line, I think that you could make the argument certainly that ball breaks the plane.
After further review, the ball carrier crossed the goal line, touchdown. Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes, 18 seconds.
So Lawrence Toafili adds another touchdown to his terrific 5-year career here in Tallahassee.
Well, you're right about that, Jay. I mean, coming into this game over 1,800 career yards. He's had a fantastic career with the Seminoles.
Mike Norvell going to leave the offense on the field for a 2-point conversion attempt. Rolling right, now looking back left. Wide open. 2-point try is good. Froman Hawk put it right on the money to Landon Thomas. Those two freshmen connected to set up the touchdown run.
That was a great job. One of those plays where if they were playing man-to-man, the ball would have gone to the right. Playing zone, they get Landon Thomas just sneaking out of the back there on that backside. Everybody's eyeballs on defense going to their left with that motion. Landon Thomas coming back the other side.
Our production crew did a terrific job going back through the years, especially digging out highlights from the Steve Spurrier, Bobby Bowden days of the 90s, 1994, maybe the most memorable of all the meetings. Top 7 matchup. Florida went up 31-3. Spurrier pulls the starters. Florida State comes all the way back, and the game ends tied 31-31. With 3 decades later, that game still remembered as the choke at Doak. If Florida State were to come back in the final 3:18 here, there would be the choke at Doak part 2. 30 years later, as the Seminoles are lined up for an onside kick. Max Chiminto lined up there with Ryan Fitzgerald. It's Fitzgerald who was the one to kick it, but this play is blown dead.
Before the kick, timeout, Florida. Their first of the half, 30-second timeout.
But Billy Napier wanted to get a look at that. And it was great timing with the timeout because you saw what the plan was to go with that little sneak pooch right in front.
Gives us a chance to check into the studio. Kevin Connors, what do you got? All right, so the Aggies have life at College Station. That'll get the 12th man behind them for the rest of that one on ABC. Florida State needing to recover this onside kick after scoring a touchdown and completing the 2-point conversion. If Fitzgerald, and an easy recovery for Florida.
I just didn't get that second bounce that you want on those onside kicks. You want that ball to go with a short first bounce, and the second one, you want to pop way up in the air and hope to get her, got her down the field to recover. It just didn't happen.
The second annual SEC ACC Challenge in college basketball tips off Tuesday night. Syracuse, Tennessee, and Kentucky Clemson, a doubleheader you don't want to miss on ESPN. Still, in a way, rivalry week can bring you a couple SEC, ACC Challenge games on the football field. How about Georgia Tech giving Georgia everything they could muster last night?
It was incredible. 8 overtimes. I think that's a game folks are going to remember for a long, long time.
A big hole opens up here. Running right through it. Jaden Baugh, the freshman, has had limited carries. It's only his 8th of the night, but he takes it for a gain of 27.
This Florida State defense is, you can tell, they're just worn down at this point in the game. Just watch the guard in the center. You get the double team, and then the kick out block there by the tight end Hayden Hanson, and it's a pretty easy hole for Jaden Baugh to see.
Right back to Baugh, breaks a tackle, cuts at the 15, Down just shy of the 10, another first down run for Jaden Baugh.
Timeout was called. I didn't see by
Against Florida State.
Florida State called. Okay.
.220 left remaining in this one. Florida on their way to a third straight win. They'll have a chance to win a 7th game of the year at their bowl game.
And for DJ Lagway, maybe not as explosive of a night, certainly as he had last week in that great win against Ole Miss, but he made some good throws, some special throws when he had to. 13 of 21, 125. Did have the interception that we talked about earlier. I'm not sure was his fault. I'd like to see DJ Lagway when that hamstring's healthy, and here he is out there. He's got a little wildcat going.
Yeah, lined up as a wide receiver. And a direct snap. Baugh, a third straight carry. Mike Norvell uses his second timeout. So it's Lagway and Florida try and punch it another score here. The story of the day has got to be this Gators defense, right?
Yeah, they've been after Luke Kromenhoek and this Florida State offense early and often tonight. This was one of the plays early in the game that seemed to really give Florida the momentum. Jack Pyburn with the sack strip. I mean, it's just Gator after Gator getting involved on it. Cam Jackson with a big night. All in total, Jay, 8 sacks, 14 TFLs, and 4 turnovers. That is a stat line that this defense is going to be pounding their chest about for a long time. That's an incredible job.
To set any record in this rivalry is a big deal.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good football over the years between these two squads. And I think the defense, I mean, just really kept this Florida offense in this game as they were kind of figuring some things out. You got to give credit to the Florida State defense. I thought early on, the first 3 quarters of the game played well, but just got worn down. And you got to give some credit to the Florida offense for that as well.
They keep it with the freshman Baugh. And Florida State, Mike Norvell uses his final timeout.
Florida State, the third and final of the second half. 30-second timeout.
Third and goal upcoming. And we just talked about the SEC ACC Challenge this week for basketball. Tuesday on ACC Network, South Carolina and Boston College, and Ole Miss and Louisville. And that doubleheader. Mike Norvell told us when we met with him yesterday, challenging season to say the least, but he expects the comeback to be quick. And with the transfer portal, you can do it in a single offseason. Pete Thamel reporting that Gus Malzahn will join as the offensive coordinator for next year, so they are flipping the page as soon as you can.
And I know there's pluses and minuses of the transfer portal, that certainly. But the positive sign for fans is you can turn around the roster quick. You don't have to wait for 2 and 3 recruiting classes.
And Lagway tosses it for another Florida touchdown. Tony Livingston.
We thought we Might see the tight ends get a little bit more involved tonight, and finally here late in the fourth quarter, it happens. Tony Livingston, big tight end. Nice throw by DJ Lagway.
That touchdown certainly significant to some. And Lagway, it hasn't been his sharpest, certainly not as great as we've seen him the last 2 weeks at the Swamp against LSU at Ole Miss, but did just enough as Florida extends this lead to 20. Florida 2 minutes away from going to 7-5, a chance to win an 8th game at a bowl.
0 for Florida.
Did not look like it was going that way when they lost to Texas A&M, and we're 1-2 with the hardest schedule in the country. Still had to go at Tennessee, at Georgia, at Texas, LSU, Ole Miss at home. Had a trip to Tallahassee, and Billy Napier's enjoying this turnaround. And there's a lot of Gator blue in the crowd here at Doak Campbell Stadium that is left. Everyone getting their chomps in.
And there's nothing more gratifying for a team that late September, people had kind of left for dead. Thought, okay, Billy Napier's going to be on his way out. Who's the next coach going to be? Are we going to go get Lane Kiffin? All these names, right? But they hung in there and just really played a lot of great football late here in the season. DJ Lagway coming on.
All right, as long as Florida fans are in the mood and chomping, we'll throw it back to 1997. #1 Florida State. Under 3 minutes left of the game, Florida down 29-25. It was a ferocious finish here. These games between Spurrier's Gators and Bowden's Florida State Seminoles.
Young Steve Spurrier, Bobby Bowden, just legends of the game.
Both of these programs believe they can get back to those top 10 battles, obviously unranked for just the 4th time in the last 38 years. Billy Napier less than 2 minutes away from knocking off the Seminoles for the first time. Thank you, Kevin. How about Tennessee State making it into the FCS playoffs? Their head coach, Eddie George, Heisman Trophy winner, and then a prolific career at the NFL with the Titans. He was your teammate in Tennessee for a couple of years, Rocky. There's another fumble.
Wow. Just
the 5th lost fumble of the night. 8th fumble of the game for Florida State. Wow.
This unfortunately has just been the sort of ending that this season kind of deserves for Florida State. It's just unfortunate how it's worked out, and the turnovers, especially tonight, have just absolutely killed this team.
When's the last time you saw 8 fumbles in a game?
I cannot recall.
5 of them lost, which is the most Florida State has lost in a game since 2015.
And of all the things that go into the quarterback position, Luke Kromenhoek, and he'll get an opportunity next year to be the leader of this team. And above all the things that go into playing the quarterback position, taking care of the football is priority #1. And if nothing else, he'll learn that tonight.
They'll finish the season with a turnover margin of -16. Hayden Warner coming in to finish this game for Florida. The Gators will finish the regular season on a 3-game winning streak, where Florida State will finish with 10 losses. A team that was preseason top 10 will finish 2-10. A Florida team that'll feel really good about themselves, the way they turned this season around.
It's always such a positive thing to finish on the upswing. It just springboards you into that next season, gives the positive vibes. Recruiting goes on the upswing, which we've seen here with the recent success of Florida.
Yeah, they've had momentum on and off the field. Billy Napier has flipped 9 commits in the last 2.5 weeks, and he told us yesterday he expects that to continue.
Yeah. Success breeds more success.
Your college football Saturday continues with the FCS first round playoffs. Tennessee State and Montana